What's going on, everybody? My name is C4. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are here for our newest Madden 26 off-season rebuild with, through the power of PC mods, I pretty much have Madden 27. All right, real quick, fellas, I am coming to you from the future. I'm going to put this at the beginning of the video. I was just like halfway through, and I was like, dude, the Titans have like a new jersey and a new logo. There's got to be a mod that can bring us up with the Titans. I can't say this is like Madden 27 without having the updated rebrand for the Titans. So I'm, in terms of timeline of the rebuild, from year 3, the starting of year 3 onward, we are going to be fully up to date. Because I did the gut into the weeds, found a mod, shout out Ninja for hooking me up with the link. I believe it's St. Jimmy has made a mod where Titans logo is going to look like this. I don't want to spoil any of the players. So I'm going to show off Anthony Hill Jr. is developed into a nice linebacker for us, and he has a custom face scan. We have the fully up-to-date Tennessee Titans jerseys at my disposal right now. And today, up next, we are rebuilding the Tennessee Titans. We rebuilt the Raiders a couple days ago, and originally the plan was for a Yetis episode to be today. However, the Madden servers have been down for 2 straight days for me and for a lot of the community, and as soon as I can hop back into Yetis, we will have a Yetis episode. I'm hoping that will be tomorrow. But no issues for me for waiting a little bit because I am fully committed and ready to hit the nitrous oxide here on these off-season rebuilds. We are good to go. I have spent countless hours getting the ratings to a sweet spot. We have some of the best modders have put their best work, their finest work into this mod, which is 100% accuracy after free agency. We have Carnell Tate, who has a freaking custom-made face scan. All the rookies have their portraits. All the UDFA signings are here. And we still have 2 realistic draft classes in 2027, 2028 that have portraits. It is a great environment to be in. What I need you guys to do right now at the early part of the video, though, let me know in the comment section below what team you guys want to see next, just so that I can start to map this out and get, you know, the next 3 rebuilds in mind, so I can kind of pick at those over the coming days. And on the first Raiders rebuild, I did see enough Titan fans that made me go, okay, I want to do the Titans. Big reason why I want to do the Titans is they are near the top of the list of teams I want to make our main channel franchise in Madden 27. There are 3 teams right now: Tennessee, Miami, and Cleveland. Now, not shocking. Oh my God, that's a out of left field pick. I would say I'm leaning Tennessee the most right now, but the more that I've thought about it, the more that I think all 3 of those teams make an interesting argument. But for the sake of that, I want to get a Titans rebuild done now versus at the end of this cycle when it's close to next year's game, because I want the Titans franchise to potentially feel very fresh. And taking a look at this squad, I mean, it certainly needs a lot of work. You know, if you're trying to find the positives of this team, it's like, well, okay, well, on the offensive line, J.C. Latham and Peter Skoronski are on the right side of 30, and they're going to be ascending players. And for a 5-year rebuild, you always want to look on how many guys can I count on? How many guys are going to be guys that get a contract and are with me for this whole rebuild? And on the offense, you know, don't have a super clear picture of that, but at least on the, you know, starting on the offensive line of the trenches, I think Skoronski and Latham will be here. We have Pat Coogan, who had a good training camp, already has 1 little skill point. I actually might go with him as our starter, the rookie and Rose Bowl MVP. Gunnar Helm, 2nd-year tight end out of Texas, could develop into a guy for us as well, depending if we can get a dev trade or not. The running back room is very interesting. We have the veterans, who are a solid 1-2 punch. I think their lack of production last year, as someone that had both of them in fantasy football, was in play to the offensive line. But they got Nick Singleton, who we got a gold medal in the running back drill with him, which is very difficult to do. He has a dev trade out of Penn State, 5th-round pick, one of the values, one of the steals of the class, a height, weight, speed running back. So it's like one of those things where, like, I think we nurture him. I don't think we throw him to the wolves right away. But with contracts coming up for Pollard and Spears, it might just be most natural to, you know, focus train Nick Singleton and eventually maybe next year have him be our lead back. At wide receiver, they get Wan'Dale Robinson from the New York Giants. He should be a great slot wide receiver. You get Carnell Tate. You have DK, who's more of a return specialist. Go Gators. You have Alec Aomanor, who I'm telling you right now, if I pick the Titans as our franchise, I'm getting an Aomanor. You know, one of them new uniforms. Shout out Canada. I love Aomanor's game. I thought he also had a really, really solid start to his NFL career last season. So, like, I'm bullish that, like, we have our receivers in here. Like, obviously, you get Carnell Tate at pick 4. The expectation is this becomes our wide receiver 1. That is how I am viewing him. So, if he's going to be our wide receiver 1, I think there is a way that, Wandale in the slot, and then we might be able to get an A.O. Minor or even a DK to develop into that wide receiver too. We also have Calvin Ridley on the roster. He might be a trade candidate. I don't know yet. I don't think there's going to be a crazy amount of value there, but we will see. And then at quarterback, we have Mr. Cam Ward. I was really bored last night before I recorded this, so I just kind of went through training camp. We do get a little skill point there. Actually, and great way to show you the house rules that we have. Every player needs to be developed as a scheme fit. That is kind of the way that we combat some of the huge and borderline unrealistic XP gains that you could get. Usually that's earlier on in the players' careers, but that's kind of the method to our madness. We have Cam Ward here, and I think so much goes into also my reason to making Tennessee a top candidate for us to be our Madden 27 team. It's like, I think Cam Ward's an interesting quarterback because obviously first-round pick, but it also feels like, if you can't figure out with Cam Ward, it's not, it wasn't like a first-round pick that they traded a bunch of picks to go get, like 3 first-round picks to go get Cam Ward. Like, I feel like, people are sleeping on him. He's now borderline underrated because his rookie campaign was so gross. But I think watching the Titans, when I did watch him, it seemed absolutely like a lack of talent around him than it was Cam Ward can't get this done. Not an overpowered quarterback by any means, but has some pretty good skills that are definitely worth developing. And you can see the vision of him turning into a franchise quarterback. So the offense, I'm bullish on it. I think if we can get, a couple pieces on the offensive line, I'm going to go with Coogan as our starting center. I think there's just a higher ceiling there than Schlottman. Get a tackle, get a guard. Figure out the running back room if it's Singleton or not. I think we have a lot of pieces there offensively that can work. Defensively, a little bit of a different story. On the defensive line, you made the trade. You got rid of Sweat. You bring in Jermaine Johnson. We'll see where that's kind of at because, now with the Keldric Faulk selection, you got to play Keldric Faulk. Oladejo kind of becomes, more of a not clear-cut starter. I'm going to put him at Sam linebacker. Maybe that'll be something that can work it out. Franklin Myers and Jeff Simmons are solid, but viewing this in a 5-year scope, where both these guys going to be in 5 years, a little concerned about that. Linebacking core, not so much. Barton's a solid starter for now, but I think long-term, Gray and Hill Jr. Anthony Hill Jr. from Texas, 71, coming with the dev trade. That could be the long-term play there at linebacker, so optimistic there. Hooker, solid veteran. Winston has a high ceiling. The corner room, they get Alontae Taylor, the cookie monster from the Saints. Cordell Flott comes over from the Giants, 78 with a dev trade. You got Williams coming over from the Chiefs. Probably, shut out Little Tykes with Latrell McCutcheon. But I think corner room's fine for now, but we're going to, unless we can get a dev trait here going, we're probably going to have to retool this secondary as we go throughout this rebuild. Same with the defensive tackle room. But this is like a team that, I can't say 100%. List the top 5 things we have to go get. Probably outside of left tackle. So it's going to be interesting to see, man. We're going to have to take it as it comes and figure out what the magic combination is here. Because I have no idea what this playbook's going to be like. This Robert Saleh offense, what is our staff here? We got Brian Dabes. So we have Dabes and Gus Bradley. So 2 very experienced coordinators. Let's see what this team looks like. Also, Keldric Faulk has a custom-made player build here. Looking fantastic. Didn't think this was going to be accepted. I thought I was going to have to throw in a 2027 4th to just jump up around, but we were able to send Calvin Ridley in a 5th-round pick to the Indianapolis Colts, who absolutely Ridley would be a starting wide receiver for them next season after the loss of Michael Pittman, and we were able to get a 2027 3rd-round pick. We're also able to move Will Levis here. Will Levis and a future 5th-round pick to get a 4th-round pick from the Miami Dolphins. Gives the Dolphins a nice backup, someone with some upside behind Mr. Malik Willis. We have our rebuild opener here on the road against the Cleveland Browns. Seems like a honestly pretty winnable matchup for the Titans. Browns also had a very good draft class. Quarterback spot's a little more uncertain. Let's see if at least we can get one Cam Ward to Carnell Tate touchdown here in their debut together. Well, I need one moment, one opportunity. This is everything I've ever wanted. Mom spaghetti, there's vomit on Cam Ward's sweater already. Carnell Tate from Ohio State. We haven't got one offensive opportunity. There we go. We're going to get some offensive unity. Bars! Telling you, bars. Absolute bars. Okay, where do we got? Tate. Looking at you, buddy. In the red zone. Come on. Nope. He's pretty much... Yeah, we'll live to fight another down. 69 yards and 1 pick through 3.5 quarters of play in the season open for Cam Ward. Not doing a great job. You know, forgetting and no, we gotta go. We gotta go right here. Wan'Dale Robinson earned that one. Let's see if we can get one more opportunity to try to get a game-winning drive here, fellas. Oh boy. Oh boy, we're gonna try to do it. See if Carnell Tate can do anything, man. He has not got open yet. That's my first read, primary read. Got a little bit of separation there. Make a safe grab at midfield. There we go. I mean, if we can get this drive going, Cam Ward's final stat line is going to look pretty decent. And also, might be able to take enough time. This is final possession. Oh, great route there. The tight end helm. Too bad he has like 78 speed, so he's going to be more of a, you know, get you to the sticks, not yards after catch guy. Ooh, baby, Carnell Tate getting pressed at the top of the screen. Going to watch that safety. That safety is going to help him out. I'm not going to do that. We'll go back. We'll go to Bellinger with this point. Oh, you got to get out of bounds. 10 seconds. This is not good. Carnell Tate. We might get 2 plays. No! Hell. Titans are this early in our rebuild series for a reason. They suck, and we have got to make them not suck ass. So, yeah. Well, of course, Browns go ahead and just get Aaron Rodgers and ruin all the realism. But I'll tell you right now, Cam Ward, we're in for a long rebuild. This is how he's going to play. I'm perfectly fine losing. You know, too many times I'm better than expected in this first year. So when it comes to this 2027 class that the modders have done an exceptional job on, and I've gone through and kind of got it to the ratings that we're used to in our rebuilds, I never get the fun players. My team always is picking, like, at worst in that, like, 10 to 20 range. Like, just, like, good enough not to be bad, bad enough not to be good. So I'm not going to hold literally, I mean, I will. But I won't hold too much against this Titans team if we are dog shit this year, because I'm actually kind of excited to maybe have like a decent pick for this 2027 class. This is fucking terrible. Like, not even trying to make a rebuild here. Like, this team is, you know, we're about to have the quickest I'm firing everybody on the coaching staff possible. 14, 9, 17, 19, 16, 11, 7. We're bad. We're not that bad. I mean, at this point, it's like, okay, I'm going with the Young Bucks. Like, all right, Nichols, Singleton, you're going. Tate at wide receiver 1. You know, everybody that's like at this, like on the defense too. I'm gonna get all the rookies playing. Like, this season is an absolute wash. But I am shocked because Dable's Giants offense is one of the best in the game. So the fact, it makes no sense, no rhyme or reason why the offense is this dog shit. Like, we're running the right schemes here. Shanahan, a.k.a. Salah defense. Brian Dable offense. Yeah, And then we have way less money than I thought. We only have $44 million of cap. What is going on with this team? Maybe I don't want to well, maybe I do want to rebuild, but I don't want to rebuild to the Jesus. Some of the worst sim numbers I've ever seen. I mean, you make the trade for Jermaine Johnson, but I think Oladejo has a higher ceiling. So, like, I'm thinking, especially, like, what's Johnson have production-wise? Is it looking interesting? Oh, it's looking not interesting at fucking all. So, yeah, not re-signing anybody. We're bad, but we're not Jets bad, I guess. Able to get our first win of the season. Is this like something we can build off of, or is it like fluky, like we had a pick 6 or something? That's okay. 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, 200 yards for Cam Ward. Singleton now is our full-time runner. Carnell Tate, 141 yards, 2 touchdowns. And then defensively, Jeff Simmons getting after the quarterback. Keldric Faulk getting after the quarterback. And we get 4 INTs on the day. Okay, that's far from a fluke. We have it in it. We just got to find a way to get that more often for this team. Oh, brutal. So we just, like, committed to being bad this year. And then we win the final week of the season, and that takes us from, in contention for the 2nd pick in the draft to the 4th pick in the draft. I mean, no matter what way you cut it, we did earn a top 5 pick, which for me, it's a little refreshing because, again, almost always, if I look back at all my rebuilds, my year 1 team, even though we're maybe not even good, but like we're close to 500. So it's like, all right, great. Well, now we're never really going to have a good pick, premier pick. Haven't had a lot of opportunities to get some exciting players. Like, is this a lot of great players in the top 5, top 10 of the 2027 class. We'll leave it at that. I don't know what direction we're going to go. I think we need to figure out the scheme first and foremost. Take a look at the stats here. Cam Ward was not great. That is way too many interceptions. And this is kind of my vibes on like choosing the Titans as our main franchise team. You know what I'm saying? There's just something about Cam Ward. When I've played with Cam Ward, he feels and reminds me of like our Yetis series. He feels like a clickbait quarterback. He feels like one of the rare players that just in Madden play worse than what their ratings are. And you can't have that at the quarterback spot. Obviously, the awareness, we're in a sim, so that 62 awareness needs to get developed. I think that's playing a part, but maybe we got to get the right coaches in place. Maybe Daboll's not the right guy, even though you bring him in hoping that he can work the magic that he did with Josh Allen with the Bills, with Cam Ward. Year 1, certainly a bumpy road. The run game, well, I went right to Nick Singleton. And he immediately was an upgrade over Tony Pollard. 2.9 yards per carry for Pollard, 3.7 for Singleton. So, that's good. It looks like we have potentially our starting running back for the foreseeable future. And he was a 5th-round pick. So that's, we're working, though. We have to make him scheme fit, power back. We got a little bit of work to go there. We did go over 1,000 yards for Carnell Tate. What a debut for the rookie. 71 catches, 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns, 850 and 4 for Wandale, 750 and 5 for A.O. Minor. 5 and 2. Honestly, not bad for how not great everything about this offense has been. Like, if we can get a little bit better, but the distribution, if you will, of targets kind of goes this way. Like, assuming the peak, we might be able to get 2,000-yard receivers, and that third guy's hovering around 900 yards. I'll be more than satisfied with that. Defensively, Cedric Gray, the rookie Anthony Hill Jr. made the most of his reps. Hooker, the Cookie Monster, Kevin Winston, all go over 100 tackles. Look at that year from Amani Hooker, though. Kind of thought he was more of the weekly. He is older. Reviewing this in a 5-year rebuild, out of everybody in the secondary, he's kind of like the one guy. Him and Alante Taylor are 27, 28. But hell of a year from Amani Hooker. That could be a dev trait increase for him. 13.5 sacks, 17 TFLs for Jeffrey Simmons. A hell of a year for Keldric Faulk. You draft him in the 1st round. You trade back up in the 1st round, ideally, because there's a developmental project there, and you're going to need the 5th-year option. That's ahead of schedule. 70 tackles, 12 TFLs, 7.5 sacks, only 5.5 for Jermaine Johnson. So I think we're making the right call not going with him long-term, as we had Oladejo played Sam for most of the season. I moved him down to defensive end for the final couple games. I think Oladejo is our path forward there. And then the INTs, 4 picks, Hooker, a couple duos. Honestly, some of the better INT numbers across the board that I've seen in our rebuilds as of late. One of the best things about being a bad team is our rookies got a lot of playing time. Carnell Tate and Keldric Faulk, with Anthony Hill top 3, are your offensive and defensive rookie of the years. And if those are dev traits coming our way, oh boy. Let's get the unveiling here together. We got, look at that, both with scans. Actually, Anthony Hill Jr. also has a custom-made portrait, like player scan, whatever you want to call it. So Carnell Tate, you're all great, perfect. I hate Playmaker, man. The amount of times with our house rules having to invest in the scheme fit that you go Playmaker and it makes your guy like something else. Very annoying, but there we go. Carnell Tate takes the jump up from star to a superstar. We're going to put the C on his chest. Not too bad for the guy that was just the wide receiver too to Jeremiah Smith, who could very well be in our targets. I have no idea. I don't want to be like, oh, I know what I'm doing and I'm just going to try to sell you guys on. I have no idea, because Dylan Stewart, there's so many good defensive and offensive players there that, if I draft a wide receiver, it means as a Canadian, probably won't have A.O. Minor as a guy. As Keldric Faulk also goes up to a superstar dev, and for his upside, that is maybe even more important than Carnell Tate getting the dev trade increase. But yeah, looking at the top 5, we're not going to go quarterback, which could come back to bite us in the ass if we can't develop Cam Ward, but I don't really have that plan for this rebuild. So you have Jeremiah Smith, you have Simmons and Stewart, you have Leonard Moore, kind of like you're looking at the blue chip players in this year's class. Trades Green, I think, could eventually get there. But, I mean, we're not, you know, Mary Washington, he's always a D tackle that I want that goes way early. But, I mean, it's going to be one of these four. And either way, we're going to be stepping on toes either way. Right? We draft Jeremiah Smith. It means probably, you know, Tate and Smith are going to be our guys. No one else is going to eat on the offense, which might not be what many people who click on this video would like to see. But also, I think a lot of Titan fans will be like, fuck yes, give me Jeremiah Smith. I don't care. And then on the defensive side of the ball, Colin Simmons, Dylan Stewart. I'd probably be leaning a little more to Dylan Stewart because I have been able to use Colin Simmons in a rebuild, and he was insane. We actually broke the rookie. Actually, with Colin Simmons, we broke the single-season sack record when we used him in our first go with the realistic rebuilds. I'm going to be honest. Smith and Stewart are probably the two. But then if we get Stewart, it means like Oladejo for whatever. That's where like he's getting his toe stepped on. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm leaning, if it's possible, to get Jeremiah Smith just because our offense was so bad that maybe that's what we need to save Cam Ward. Take a look at the rest of the team as far as dev traits are concerned. No one up or down a dev trait on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, we have Amani Hooker up to superstar. Kevin Winston up to superstar. Love to see that. Alontae Taylor from normal up to star. So a lot of nice dev trait increases on the defensive side of the ball. Retirements there. Well, I'm looking at this. I think we're going to decline the fifth-year option for Latham because I think he's at a point where I want to get ahead of that contract extension. Like, I think the price is only going to continue to go up. $24.80 dev trait tackle. And if I re-sign him like week 3, earliest opportunity next year, I think we're going to save money in the long term. But like Spears, we're going Singleton at running back, Jermaine Johnson, you know, either we're going to go Dylan Stewart at pass rush, or I think Oladejo is a better fit right there. Tony Pollard, again, we're going full with Singleton at running back. Volson was a starter at guard, but definitely upgradable. I think maybe that's where we look in free agency. Going into free agency, like again, it's the weird thing where it's like, dude, we don't need a wide receiver, but Jeremiah Smith. Well, we do need probably a center, probably a right guard. Could use an upgrade at tight end. Could use an upgrade at left tackle. Defensively, maybe a nickel corner. That's about it. Younger at D tackle, get like a succession plan in place there at defensive tackle. But when you look at the offense for an upgrade, it's like, oh, great. Tony Pollard's the best running back. That gives you like a good idea where we're at here for upgrades. It's like, all right, what do we got on the offensive line? We got Rasheed Walker. No, that's not doing much for me. Bunch of win now linemen. Yep. Well, it's going to be a multi-year deal trying to get this offense where we need it to go. So looking at mock draft 5, that's about as expected. I knew at 4, and that fucking Jags win week 18 was going to mean I have to trade up for somebody. And I think it has to be Jeremiah Smith. I think. And just to confirm, yes, all 3 of these guys are going to be terrifyingly good. So we're able to make it happen here. Pays me as again, just either one of the depth, either one of my developmental wide receivers that I would love if we do a Titans franchise. Get ready. I'm going to try to make DK and Amanor studs as a Gator and Canadian. DK has a dev trait, so I think it gives us a little bit more trade value. To move up one spot, it is going to cost me DK 76 star dev wide receiver on a rookie contract, our first round pick, number 4. Our second round, because you got to entice them. They're probably cool taking Jeremiah Smith. So I'd say, okay, I'll give you a 2. I'll give you a 4, and that 4th round pick is a top 100 pick still. Maybe an overpay, but in any scenario like this where I'm clearly moving up to get a guy that's going to be a prominent player in our rebuild, I want to make sure that there's a challenge that comes with it, and the challenge is my compensation overpaying. But the state of our offense with Carnell Tate looked great, but he was not enough to make our offense that we know. Giants make the Super Bowl almost all the time. That Giants offense can be a juggernaut. There's no reason why it can't be here. We just need more talent. And if that's the big issue, well, not to rain on Carnell Tate's parade here, but, unfortunately, we have just made him a wide receiver 2 again. Like he was in college, but when you have a chance to get Jeremiah Smith, number 1 in true value, already has a portrait ready to go. 6'3", 220, 96 acceleration, 95 agility, 95 jumping, 92 change direction, 95 this. You know, it's probably fair to say, you know, he's generational. That's like a big topic. Like, who's truly a generational player? I saw a TikTok. Like, who's the last generational wide receiver? People said Julio Jones. Like, the last one, not who was, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I saw the comments, like, what about Megatron? Like, the last time we had one, someone made the argument, Jamar Chase, because he pretty much missed a year and still went, you know, top 5, top 10, or 6, or whatever the hell he did. I think Jeremiah Smith is entering that generational conversation, especially if he goes out and balls next year. So, there you go, Cam Ward. Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, figure it out. I think we have to shift to the offensive line. We have Luke Montgomery, another Ohio State player, scheme fit, disciplined guard, B pass block, B run block, good enough for me. B awareness, absolutely. And he probably needs a little bit of customization there, but for the most part, he's looking good. I think I should show a little love here to the secondary. We have Jontez Williams. I believe he's an Iowa State transfer to USC. Disciplined corner, A press, C man, C zone, B catching, 5'11", but we need a slot. And I think because we have Alontae Taylor playing on the outside, I think he gives us some upside there at that corner 3 spot. So take a look at our draft class recap. Ooh, we got a Skynero from Ole Miss, 76 kicker to come over and start. I was trying to find a better backup. Like, John Mateer was there in the 4th round. I decided to go Ben Brahmer, the new Penn State transfer tight end, just to see, you know, maybe something different than Helm. Williams, 69, but he does have the dev trait with our 2/3 Montgomery, who we will, you know, correct once we can get into things with starting up. Got to be a starting guard for us, except on the right side. And then Jeremiah Smith is Jeremiah Smith, 83. He might be even better than that when they actually make him. Be honest with you, I could see, like, as a rookie, him being like an 85 or something absolutely insane like that. I mean, that would be my question to you as we look at this. Do you think Jeremiah, would you classify him as a generational player, or does he need to have like another, like, does he need to like win the Blitnikoff next year for Ohio State or something like that? And we got old Luke Montgomery starting at right guard now. He's ready to go. Now, you guys know this drill. If you've played this drill, this is the most 50-50, you know, you're going to have a good time or bad time drill. This drill is so much predicated on what runs get called and if you have a decent fullback. And it's like, I hate it. Last year's running back in Madden 25, the running back drill was so much better. But that is the highest score I've ever got in this. Nicholas Singleton. That's the 2nd time we've got gold. There's a special player in there. Okay? Dayball's seeing another Penn State. He's seeing the guy that broke all Saquon's record in Penn State. And he thinks we might have something. Alrighty, year 2 for the Ohio State Titans. Go out, we get Luke Montgomery from Ohio State on the offensive line. We go out, we're actually going to give Brahmer the opportunity to tight end. I thought Helm was solid. Brahmer might have a little bit higher ceiling. We'll see. But the addition now, full-time Singleton. Carnell Tate, a year off of Offensive Rookie of the Year, and he is back with his running mate, Jeremiah freaking... Like, he literally every week I simmed in the preseason, he had, like, a new level up point. Terrifying. Truly terrifying player. I don't even know if we've done a Jeremiah Smith rebuild. To my point, I must have at least once had Jeremiah Smith, like, in our first run of the realistic rebuild since I've had these classes. But, it's, again, I'm almost always overachieving year 1 of these rebuilds so that I'm never picking, you know, even anywhere close to the top 5 to get one of these players. We're about to see, man. We're about to see if that could, you know, get everything going here on the offensive side of the ball. You know, we get the gold medal for Cam Ward in training camp, so he's now a 78, but he's at 25. He was an older player. It's not like we got him as a 21-year-old quarterback. Year 2, 25 years old, or, well, year 3 now, going into year 3. So we need to, you know, whatever this is going to be for Cam Ward in terms of, like, is he just going to just play better? Is he going to be that much better that we might be looking at, like, dev trade increase? I have no idea. But what I do know is that Brock Daboll's scheme is good. It works. We just got to find the pieces to make it work, and that better be Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith. Because if not, we may have to look at a different direction for our offense. Defensively, Keldric Faulk now is a superstar. 2 superstar safeties. Excited about that. Gray and Hill are going to be our 2 primary linebackers. We get Williams here from USC as our slot with Taylor, the Cookie Monster, and Flott. I feel pretty good about the defense. right? I'd love to see Oladejo now back as a full-time starter at pass rush, kind of reward us and get some good production there. But across the board, there's no way. Like, I want double the wins. Last year we went 4-13. I want 8 wins minimum this year. And I think much like last year, where week 1, it's like, let's see if we can get something going here to Carnell Tate. Well, how about this? Week 1 on the road against the Bucks. Bucks aren't that great. They've kind of regressed here a little bit. Let's see if we can get Jeremiah Smith his first career touchdown. Alrighty, it does not look like a terrifying environment here. Very much a winnable game. Let's come in here. First drive, 3rd and 10. Oh, who are we going to look for? I'll tell you another thing, though. We got to get Jeremiah Smith. I think rookie or not. Who's wearing 4? I think we're going to probably just rip that number 4 off of off of Wan'Dale Robinson, and we're going to give it to Mr. Jeremiah Smith. So this is going to be a rare 1-of-1 jersey. Who was there for the one game that Jeremiah Smith wore 86? And on 4th and inches. On these first offensive drive. Yes! The cheat code! Oh, baby. He's going to unlock the offense. I just know he's going to be like a 90 rated by the end of this rookie season. But that is got to be maybe the most prestigious, priceless Titans jersey, at least with these ugly jerseys of all time. It's the one game he wore 86. Look at that. Bow, toe, drag, swag. Shout out Nate Burleson. What a ball. I mean, honestly, could be a little bit better ball. Could have made that easier on him. But Cam Ward got it there. And look at that. All right, let's go, man. Come on. Come on, defense. Let's see Keldric Faulk get after. Let's see, Robinson get after. We've got a couple turnovers here. We got a 7-point lead. Let's come back in here and see if we can help them out, see this one out. Shameless, but after 4 wins last year, they might need every help. Now, let's not forget that we have the reigning, defending offensive rookie of the year in Carnell Tate. The best wide receiver 2 prospect in college and maybe NFL history. We go right here to Singleton, the running back. Use some receiving chops. He's a guy that can catch 30, 40 balls in a season. And I think with this, let's see, can we just get at the top of the screen? Jeremiah Smith, slant cheese, 2nd receiving touchdown. Oh, it's a tight win. Oh. They knew what we wanted to do there. What about this one? Y stick. A lot of short routes. Man, that's a good touch. Tell you right now, I got a quarterback in our Yeti series that would throw that in a row Z. So not bad for Mr. Cam Ward. Oh my God. Where's this been? I mean, the Bucks aren't anything to write home about, but performances like this was few and far between last year. To start off year 1, 31-17. In a game where Cam Ward goes for 4 touchdowns, $187. I feel like this is probably going to be a team that, we don't put a lot of passing yards on the board. I mean, we didn't really have a lot of rush yards either. But look at that, 68 yards, a hat trick for Jeremiah Smith, and even defensive. Look at that, Alante the Cookie Monster. He's going to get Defensive Player of the Week, 14 tackles, 2 picks. Let's go. Does he ever? Jeremiah Smith should have got Offensive Player of the Week. 4 touchdowns, Drake Bay, that's nothing. 3 touchdowns is the most hyped wide receiver prospect in the last 20 years. Come on. Oh, we're getting it done in the sim. Beat the Saints. Anthony, back-to-back Defensive Players of the Week. Let's go. Hashtag new year, hashtag new me. But I said last year, declining the option on Mr. Latham was so that we could get ahead of this mega contract extension. We're going to get him on a 5-year. That's a franchise tackle for us. We have Jeffrey Simmons, who really... We got 1, 2... If we can get him on a 3-year... That's going to lock him in for the rest of the rebuild. And I think I'd love that. So, I don't think we're too far away. Probably another $1 million would persuade him. We have Skaronski on the offensive line. Yeah, this is looking for the rest of the rebuild, 3-year deal. So let's kind of keep it there, but we're going to have to go up a big... Let's go 7.5, 8.5. Again, I think we're probably $1 million away. There's a gray area there. I'm confident we can get both these guys back. Cedric Gray, another player. definitely think we can build around, so we'll get him on a 3-year deal. I think Gray and Hill can be our linebackers going forward, unfortunately, for Mr. Barton there. Looking at everybody else, I'm not too concerned about the special teams. We are going to have I have no idea what Cam Ward's gonna like. I'm thinking we're not gonna have to deal with like a $200-300 million contract, but I've been wrong before. But we'll get Simmons and Skronsky figured out. We have Jeremiah Smith now up to an 87 overall. Dev trait has been unveiled, and a shocker, superstar X Factor. We are week 6, 12 touchdowns, 2 picks for Cam Ward. This is very early. I just had to highlight this just to show my logic in going offense over defense was maybe we need that one thing on offense to get the Dable offense going. So 12-2, that's pretty damn good. 58%, you know, that completion percentage kind of sucks. I was like, all right, run game, 51. You like to see the run game pick it up a little bit. Again, we are 5 games in. 5. Jeremiah Smith has 9 touchdowns. Yep. At the interview number 2, I wanted 8 wins minimum. I thought that was, I think 4 wins was underselling how much talent we had on the roster. I think we probably should have been like a 6-win team last year, but I take 4 because it allows us to get Jeremiah Smith. But my expectation was 8. We get 3 wins above my expected. We go 11-6. We have the number 2 offense, a top 10 passing offense. Run game's complimentary, a top 10 defense overall, even though that pass defense has got to get better. We win the AFC South. 11-6, able to hold off the Houston Texans here. We did kind of lose to the Browns. A couple not great performances down the stretch, but I don't want to say ahead of schedule, but a massive terms of improvement from year 1 to now year 2. And I think it is fairly obvious the catalyst of getting an offense that I know is good is Jeremiah Smith, who's now a base 90 with a boost, 93 rated X Factor. At the end of his rookie campaign, Cam Ward goes over 30 passing touchdowns, just under 4,000 yards passing, 11 picks. So it's an improved season with our big decision coming up of what his future's going to be, contract demands. I'm feeling a little bit more optimistic about him being our quarterback of this rebuild. Nicholas Singleton made the most of his opportunity as RB1, just under 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns. That's great. 1,200 yards, 19 touchdowns for Jeremiah Smith. We did get 1,000 in Tate, so these guys can both get 1,000. Even Brahmer, man, 71 catches. He got like 5 skill points for getting 70. So, a work in progress there. But it was the right call to give him the first chance at starting a tight end than, rather going helm. Look at the defense. Hill, 164 tackles, 6 TFLs, second half 2 picks. Gray's production is off the charts. The Cookie Monster and Hooker just crushing it with turnovers back-to-back years. Look at the defense. 19 TFLs on 84 tackles, 17 sacks for Keldric Faulk. That is like double the amount of sacks he had in his whole college career. 12.5 Jeff Simmons, 7 from Oladejao. Very, very happy with these sim numbers. Way better than expected. Even the INTs have been pretty damn good, especially in comparison to our last couple rebuilds. Just this season, the rookie Jeremiah Smith sets the Titans single-season record for touchdown catches. Keldric Faulk sets the record for sacks in a season. Who the hell is Groman? Thought we would have had that one as well. Okay. But I bet you Groban didn't have a Carnell Tate option on the other side of him. 1960 putting up these types of numbers. Robert Saleh wins Coach of the Year. Great turnaround here with Tennessee. Very much deserved. For what it's worth, Jeremiah Smith, runner-up for Offensive Player of the Year. And the only guy that beat us out is the MVP and Josh Allen. Thought Faulk would have been close. Top 3 in defense. He's ascending. Watt and Highsmith, that's kind of insane that they're 1 and 2 there. But, those guys are on the downswing of their careers. Jeremiah Smith wins Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's back-to-back years. An Ohio State Titan has won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Jeremiah Smith also just wins straight-up Wide Receiver of the Year. And we get Alontae Taylor, the Cookie Monster, Defensive Back of the Year. The only one that's a bummer, I would say, is Keldric Faulk. But, now I just, out of pure curiosity, what the hell do the Steelers have going on there defensively? Drew Aller. Saw a lot of people saying they want to see a Steelers rebuild next with Drew Aller. It's been noted. It's been noted. Oh, Jesus Christ. 22 sacks for Highsmith, 17.5 for TJ Watt. Even 8.5 from Derek Harmon. Good to know. Good to know for future rebuilds. Keep that in mind. So it really does feel like we're playing with house money here in year 2 of the Titans. Shouldn't be here yet. And we just have some incredible individual performances. The team as a whole is playing pretty well. And we get to host a playoff game against a solid Chargers team, but they're not better than us. So let's go. Tighten up. Here we go, Titans. Whatever you want to call it. Opening drive score. Cam Ward of the offense. Beautiful job. Can't have that, though. Throws a pick to the linebacker, Henley. We get a 10-0 run for the Chargers. That really kind of stunted our 17-0 run for the Chargers. 24-0 run for the Chargers, but if they can get hot like that and go on a streak, I think we can too. Oh, I mean, just to kind of salvage. So let's see if we just get a shot here to Jeremiah Smith or something. Damn it. I mean, we're ahead of schedule. We would have got a playoff win. That would have been incredible, but does not change my opinion on this season. Ooh, we'll just go to... Whoa. Wandale. Everyone forgets we got Wandale as a wide receiver 3. I guess that social media quarterback. How about this? Can I do it again? This social media quarterback, though, I mean, it's more our defense. You can't let them go off like that. Can Jeremiah Smith run in a straight line faster than their corner and safety? Ooh, maybe. That safety comes over. Cam Ward doesn't, not as a noodle iron, but doesn't have a cannon. We don't need any more of that. It's just, it is what it is, man. Ahead of schedule. We'll be back. We'll be better next year. About time the Chargers and Justin Herbert won something. They've already committed $500 million to him. Back to the drawing board. Oh, wow. Chargers won it all. Makes me feel a little better. Take a look at our team from a dev trade standpoint. Wasn't really expecting anyone to go. I thought maybe like Brahmer could have an outside shot at going up to star if the rest of the tight ends in the league didn't have crazy years. Cam Ward, I think it's close. I think we could get him up to a superstar. He plays like a little bit better this year. Like if we can get 5 more touchdowns thrown in there somewhere, that could be a realistic expectation. I do think going to the offseason, we need a left tackle. Left tackle is a top priority for the offense. Defensively, we get Keldric Faulk is now an X factor. Alontae Taylor's now a superstar. He is thriving here in Tennessee. Was pretty good, kind of like a positionless player for the Saints. Corner, safety, nickel. Yeah, we now moved him full-time outside, getting great return on investment there. Hill is now a superstar. So the dev traits are a-flowing on the defensive side of the ball back-to-back years. Shout out Robert Saleh developing these guys. So, I think in real life you would probably accept this option just to see what can... It's realistic. I think realistically you would accept this option. You're still not sure what Cam Ward you're getting. So we will do that. Ooh, actually get Patrick Paul's a very interesting tackle. 6'8", 330, just not a scheme fit. And with our house rules of having to develop players into scheme fit, but still just like $12.5 million a year. 2681. Oh, how far away is he? Let me see his player card. Like, is it... Can I realistically get him to a scheme fit? We are looking for power. So, yeah, that could... I ain't mad at that, honestly. Versus, like, having to use, like, a top pick on a tackle. Who are you? Power? Wow, a little bit longer there. So, I mean, yeah, I mean... At no point will he regress. At any point, I think we got to go after this. 3-year deal. We'll see where that puts us. He has some interest in joining the team, so I think let's do it. I think when you look on the defensive side of the ball, we're not really hurting for anything. You may have a sound argument to like, do we look at veterans here that could, be the needle? And interesting to see Cole Bishop. He's not a guy you usually see here at free agency. 25.82 with a dev trade, looking for 13 a year. I think we just stay with Mr. Paul here and be happy if we can get a new left tackle, which we do. And then with that, we can make the corresponding move of getting rid of one of the worst contracts on the team. See you later, Dan Moore. He's saving $5 million on Daniel Bellinger's also worse. I mean, we got to just prepare for the Cam Ward situation. It's never too early to start getting your salary cap in order. We get an early look here at the mock draft 5 for 2028. We are picking way down here, which wasn't... I'm pleasantly surprised that we are. Pick 23, we're currently looking at Bryce Fitzgerald, a safety from Miami. I feel pretty good about our safety room, if I'm being honest with you. Cade Piper at center. We do need a center. I think center upgrade, but I don't know if we're at that spot roster-wise. That center's, that luxury is available to us. I think D-tackle could be in play. We're talking about trade-ups. Malik Outtree from Auburn is available. Jericho Johnson from Cal. Okay. It was Oregon. Did he transfer? Might have. Houston, so the top D tackles are going pretty early. Landino from Indiana could certainly be in play. Just because John Franklin Myers is our D tackle too. Even Jeff Simmons. Jeff Simmons could retire at any moment. So I do think D tackle might be where we need to look at if the board lines up that way. So as we look to focus scout, we need D tackle. And we'll take a look at Elijah Griffin here. Landino was these guys are scheme fish. We're looking for power rushers, so those are the two that would make sense in the first round. Corner's another spot. I wouldn't hate adding potentially, depending on how the board falls. There's some great corners in this year's class. I mean, even going down here outside of like the first round. Cormani McLean, Boo Carter, Ellis Robinson's a stud. Damari Brown. You get the two Hurricanes, Sanchez, Finney, Pickett. I just don't know what range these guys. I wasn't fully locked in. So I think, schematically, we're a zone defense. So which one of these guys has the best zone? We got a B zone on Robinson. We got an A zone. So let's go. Let's take a look at Robinson. He could be in range too. We sit and wait. No more. We trade up last year. I don't want to get into a repetitive nature of always trading up. As we can see, a lot of tackles, a lot of corners have gone out the board. So at pick 23, what do we have? We have some quarterbacks available. That is not the direction we need to go. Center, Piper's gone in the first round center. I think that could have been maybe the wild card pick here. Defensively, we were looking for a D tackle. Are there any D ends that I could play D tackle? Like Justice Terry was like listed as a D tackle. I remember he was kind of like the bug player when we got the Madden college football 26 ratings. I mean, they're bigger, but they're not really guys that are going to play defensive tackle. So actually, at D tackle, we have Elijah Griffin, who's a second, third round talent. Disciplined player, beef and SB block shed, is a scheme fit, sub 540 at his pro day. Great bench press numbers. 3-cone, 20-yard shuttle aren't too bad. Mark Landino, also similar vibes. National champion Hoosiers. Combine, a little more speed, a little bit more agile, not the same amount of power. And then if we shift our attention to the corners, Ellis Robinson's actually still available. Ooh, and he's a disciplined player who rarely gets flagged. Who am I to lift it? Really look a gift horse in the mouth here. Ellis Robinson, come on down. 26 in true value at 23. Oh, yeah. All right, so now shifting our attention in the second round to the defensive tackles that are available. We have Borio from Ole Miss. Pretty good letter grades. We have Don Trey Robinson from Oregon. Also pretty damn good letter grades. Power rusher. We have some nose tackles here. Bariwu from Notre Dame. We have Mr. Malik Blockton from LSU. Nose tackle at... It's probably not really a nose tackle. Same with Jakeem Stewart, 6'5", 290 with a nose tackle archetype. But look at that. 3 Bs and an A. 6'5", 290. Ooh. Player portrait or not. Calling me. Number 90 in true value, but we get an upside pack. We don't have to have one that play right now. Understudy this season behind 2 great vets. And maybe this will be a starter for 2028. Now, I was thinking with some pretty big name quarterbacks. I'd say really any of these 4 could be interesting. We don't need the quarterback drama. Like we picked up the 5th-year option for Cam Ward, but do we really Like, there's not going to be enough time to commit to these guys, assuming that, like, you know, if you were going to get an Underwood and Nico, DJ Lagway, whatever, you would have to kind of be in a really bad quarterback spot where you just start them this season so you have 3 years worth of development for the end of the rebuild. We're just not in that position, so I'm not even going to entertain it. I'd hate to just say that I'm ambulance chasing dev traits only, but, like, my little next spot is a Sam, and the top Sam here in Quintavious Johnson from Georgia is a disciplined player. I promise. Not just try to only chase players that may have dev traits, but the board is just really falling about as good as we can ask it to here. Now that we're in the 4th round, though, my board shot. Fuck it, let's bring in Keelan Russell. F it. There's a look back at what ended up actually being a very, very good class for a Titans team that needs to be regarded as one of the best young teams in the league right now. We got a lot of, really, first 2 rounds were the 2 positions I wanted to get better at, and we got Ellis Robinson, who is going to be a very special player. 74 with a very good dev trait. We have Jakeem Stewart. That's just kind of a long-term play potentially behind Jeffrey Simmons, and we have John Franklin Myers for the time being. Like, maybe you'll push Franklin Myers, but for the most part, he's 20 years old, has a dev trait. I have no problem kind of redshirting him a little bit, making him D-tackle 3, maybe getting him out there a little bit, but ultimately, this is a next year move. Then from there on, like, I needed a Sam linebacker. We hit absolute gold. Quintavious Johnson, 3rd round, 69 rated with a dev trait. We get Keelan Russell at quarterback. I feel like 4th round, there's no pressure. He's just 68 with a dev. I'm like, that's just, honestly, I'm gonna be honest, he's probably 15% chance that there's a scenario that he ends up playing quarterback for us in this rebuild. But you know what? I'm gonna tuck this. It's been a month since I've even looked at any of these ratings for this class, 2028, because it's so far down the line. It's really the first one that I did, getting the names right. That is something just, 20-year-old, 68 dev trait quarterback that can fall to the 4th round. There may be a rebuild at some point that we get to, that we're going to be looking at this 2028 draft class and saying, we need a quarterback. Let's tuck this Keelan Russell rating away for, that could be an emergency. Then we just, fill out the depth chart here. Get Deshaun Bishop from Tennessee, productive player. Obi Azor from Indiana. Wallace, speedy, 91 speed linebacker from Kentucky. A really, really good class. Year 3 for the Titans. We need to find a way to improve upon last year's 11-win season. We won the division. We went out from a offseason perspective. We upgraded majorly, bigly, using someone's vocabulary. A left tackle here, and Patrick Paul. Feel pretty good about. Still, center's the least important position. If one thing I've been able to take away from all these years of rebuilding, you could put a 10 overall center, and you're still, out of any position, they still give out like the least amount of sacks. But if you're just looking at it from this is a painting. We need another piece or two to be like, all right, our offense is set and forget at this point. But I'm still very, very optimistic. I want to see Cam Ward continue to build. There's no real pressure. I don't envision any quarterback controversy scenario, but we do have a talented backup now coming in from Alabama. But I think with Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, and Wan'Dale Robinson, Cam Ward's going to be our guy. I think he's going to keep continuing to ascend. I think Singleton, too. I mean, if we can get 15% more production, he's going to be flirting with a dev trade increase. He was, 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns or whatever last year? Like, you get that to 15 and 15, that is pretty sick. And, what is a Tennessee Titans team without a good run game, And we might be able to get that with Singleton, especially the consistently steps up. Defensively, excited that Keldric Faulk's now an X. I mean, we got superstars at every level. We drafted a new Sam. We drafted what looks to be an incredibly special corner here in Robinson, who we did get 2 upgrades through training camp to make him now a scheme fit. So I'm just very, very bullish on this team. I'm very excited about where this team can go. And I think we absolutely have a good shot at doing better than the 11 wins we got last year. And then we lose 42-9 week 1. Incredibly humbling. Incredibly humbling. Alrighty, we're trying to get out of contracts early. We have Kevin Winston, who's developed into a superstar playmaker. I have no problem. 2-year deal. That's what we're looking for. That is to the end of the rebuild. So we'll get him on a 2-year deal. We have Alontae Taylor, who's at that age, he's probably at his ceiling, but he's been our most productive defender. So I have no issues whatsoever keeping him in the building. Plus, I've always been a big fan of Alontae Taylor, the freaking Cookie Monster from Tennessee. Cordell Flott feels like he might be having a little bit of a breakout year finally. So I think having Ellis Robinson kind of, it just raises the floor of everyone. There's a lack of contentness, I feel like, from this corner room, and everyone's starting to play better football. Oladipo as a pass rusher, I feel like you can always upgrade that spot. 76 depth rate at 24 is fine, but I feel like even at that price point, $7.5-ish million a year, we could go bring out another one, and like that's a decent price range for like an edge 3, like as part of a pass rush rotation, which he may get demoted to. I think Hooker's another guy, veteran player, but the production has not dropped off. So I think 5.5, just under $6 million with the state of our salary cap. I have no issues handing that contract out. Look at the rest of the play. We got a lot of depth guys I'm not overly concerned about. And I'm just going to be a biased Canadian because our salary cap's in such a great spot, and we're gonna keep A.O. Manor as wide receiver 4. Speaking of, look at the way the boys are performing. Week 2, Cam Ward almost not perfect. He missed a lot of passes, but 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. And we got 2 picks from Cordell Flott, who's got a new contract. And in week 4, in a win, Keldric Faulk, the project pass rusher, who has been, without a shadow of a doubt, our best developing player. Hat trick of sacks. Player of the week. All I was going to say, as we enter our bye week here in year 3, I already added to the very beginning of the video, but for those of you that are just catching on, I finally have found the mod that I needed to get the Titans rebrand done here with the Titans logo and the new Titans jerseys. Obviously, we've had some gameplay and gone through the menus, and yeah, I was just like, you know what, this got to exist. I did a little deep dive, couldn't figure it out. I was able to get my buddy Ninja to help me showcase the link to St. Jimmy, who's done a complete remod here. So, to see what these uniforms look like in action, assuming we continue with our play this year, we make the playoffs, we'll hop in for that, hopefully, divisional game. Maybe, here we are at the bye week right now. We're looking decent at 4-2. We have the number 3 passing offense. Everything else, I'll be interested to see if we can improve a little bit, or are we going to drop off a little bit. But we'll hop in if we make the playoffs, at least for that first game, to kind of showcase these jerseys in full action. So at the end of year number 3, while the rebrand looks fresh, unfortunately, we are a win short of our total last year. Luckily, we still make the playoffs. No harm, no foul. Doesn't really look like even if we had 11 wins, it would have changed our positioning any. We would have been likely locked into the 4 seed. When you look at it, number 2 offense in terms of points, top 10 passing offense, defense is in the teens, rushing offense in the teens, rush defense is top 10. So it's like, all right, we're still an ascending squad right now, and it's year 3 of the rebuild. There's still no rush, no time to panic. I'm cautious. I'd love to get our first playoff win here, though. That'd be a good milestone. Cam Ward, right on the line. 4,200 yards is good. 30 touchdowns, 9 picks, ain't bad. Did get 3 rushing touchdowns, so 33 touchdowns. That's really as low as you'd want to go for a guy that we still have to decide how much money are we willing to pay for him. We do have Keelan Russell backup quarterback. But again, even though I just literally mentioned that, I am not going to force a quarterback controversy. My plan is to maybe get, like a $150 million contract for him. We're not one of these game-breaking $300-400 million deals. You know what I'm saying? If it's $300-400 million, then maybe, yeah, we'll explore the backup quarterback. But for right now, let's get a playoff win. That will affect my review of Cam Ward. Great season from Nicholas Singleton. Almost 1,300 yards, 17 touchdowns. Singleton having 17 touchdowns probably has a part to play in Cam Ward's drop-off. That's like 5 or 6 more rushing touchdowns than we had. So if he would have got those passing, we'd feel great. But one of our goals is definitely try to get Cam Ward up to a superstar dev. Difficult to do with the current state of the offense. Get 2,000-yard receivers here. 1,400 yards, 14 touchdowns for Jeremiah Smith. 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns for Carnell Tate. The 1-2 punch that we dreamed of it being. Wandale was solid. Brommer was solid. Defensively, Anthony Hill with a great season. 162 tackles, 4 TFLs, 4 sacks, 4 picks. Could that be a dev trade off of production only? Maybe. We might be looking at an X-Factor linebacker. There's a pass rush, 12.5 sacks, Keldric Faulk, 11 from Jeffrey Simmons, 7.5 from Oladipo. And then, I think our pass rush as a whole could, every unit can get a little bit better, I'd say is where we're at. It's only year 3, you have 2 more years left. And very surprisingly, our only award winner, which I'll take for the state of offense, Nicholas Singleton gets running back of the year, which probably bodes well for him making the jump up to superstar. Our first game of the playoffs here against the 12-5 Raiders Titans. If all things go to plan, we are going to play some moments here. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest. The last time I tried to load this, it crashed. I think I have it working. Can we see our rebranding? Oh, it crashed. Fuck! And then I turned the mod off and it works again. So, that's also, the mods are sick, but also Madden gets updated, and sometimes the mods don't 100% work when they update Madden. The most frustrating thing is that when you look at what is the Madden update that released in April to mess up all my mods, and then it's something for Ultimate Team, something you'll never use within franchise mode. And then the dumbest thing about it, as it looks like we might get a win here, is that you can't even, I offline my game, so, it shouldn't update ever. I should just be able to never have a title update and just stay on mods if I want to. The game forces you. It's hey, you need to update or it won't load. Oh, it's so annoying. But, well, you have to see the mods. I'll see probably, I don't know, I might be I'll probably finish this video in this shot this afternoon, so I likely won't be able to fix the mod, but shout out St. Jimmy for the work. And I imagine, once it gets updated to the current Madden franchise game version, it would work flawlessly. But we're gonna throw it back here to the OG. And seems like good luck. First game back in the old threads. Maybe how about this? We're just gonna go with the throwback Titans now for the rest of the rebuild, because it seems like it's good luck in the playoffs. In the division round, we get the 13-4 Broncos, one of the best teams this year. We know Denver's playbook is elite offense and defense. We have our work cut out for us. But we got our first playoff win of the Cam Ward era. I think we might be able to snowball that into a legitimate run here in year 3. All right. Let's see. Oh, shit. Pick. All right. Threw a pick, and they punished us with 14 straight points. And then we settle for a field goal. We think that was the need. Get in the red zone and then settle for a field goal. I mean, Denver's a juggernaut, man. In terms of playbook, in my experience, I did not show nearly enough respect. We rebuilt Denver late in our realistic rebuilds. And I would say right now, honestly, in terms of combination of having a defense and offense, not just one specific playbook, they're probably the best in the league. Best in Madden Sim, I think, on average, if you're adding both and taking the averages, is the Broncos. And I'm very much using that to cope with a truly horrific performance. Wow, Arch Manning's on the Giants, and the two cheesy Sim teams meet up in the Super Bowl, and Arch and the Giants, a new era of Manning in New York. Blech. More poorly for us. Did we get the superstar dev here on Nicholas Singleton after the Super Bowl? Wins running back of the year, had real good production, and there we go. A new superstar running back in Tennessee, adding his name to the list. Derrick Henry, Chris Johnson, Eddie George, Campbell, Nicholas Singleton. And then closing out the season, and on top of Mr. Singleton, going up a dev trade here. Wait, let me see here. Click back in. No other dev traits on offense. Defensively, however, we got across the board. Johnson at Sam linebacker. He was not a super. I think we just got it because he's a Sam linebacker. Yeah, they just gave him superstar. Cool. Pretty cool. I mean, we'll take it. It looks nice. I mean, he doesn't really play a lot. We don't really play a lot in base, but it looks nice. And we didn't lose any dev traits. We knew Ellis Robinson was going to be a great dev trade. He honestly didn't develop much. A lot of times with rookies, you get 75 tackles, you get 10, 15,000 XP. Didn't really hit any of those parameters this year, unfortunately. But the ceiling is still undeniably there, with Alontae Taylor regressing in terms of rating as well. It's kind of aging out at the right time. We had no retirements as of yet, so very optimistic about this defense going forward. Ooh, only John Franklin Myers retired, so that's fine. We drafted Jakeem Stewart last year to replace him. Luckily, Jeff Simmons is kicking around. Hopefully, Jeff Simmons can go another 2 seasons and go the full rebuild. Cautiously optimistic about that. I'm going to decline both fifth-year options here. We have enough salary cap to reward them with contract extensions next year. But I do think with Keldric Faulk and Carnell Tate, we know that's coming up. So we can kind of plan for, we have some big contracts coming up. We're going to go a little light in free agency, and plus, free agency's going to have to be a little light. No one wants to come here. That's good. Great. No one wants to join the ascending team in the AFC. That's fine. All right, so we are here at the year 3 draft. This is kind of like, it's a pivotal draft because it's our first draft of Madden generated classes, which, you know, at least as far as Madden 26 is concerned, I've been able to kind of dominate it to a certain extent. And with it being the year 3 draft, it's like the kind of last year that if you get a guy with a dev trait, you have 2 years to develop them into something, which is certainly something we love to do in our rebuilds. Our positions of need, one is center, and I scouted the one center that looks kind of different, sticks out a little bit different from everybody else because he has the A's and B's, and Amari Anderson. I think we're definitely going to try and target him. Probably the 2nd round, 3rd round, whatever. I think strong safety was another one that just wasn't really a great market for strong safety because Amani Hooker's getting up there in age a little bit. So then I shift towards defensive tackle. This was the position I focused scouted because I thought there was a chance both Franklin Myers and Jeffrey Simmons could retire. And we lose one of them for sure. And I think, looking at BPA, I kind of want this guy. DJ Summers, double B's, A power, B tackle, 6'1", 305. He's a power rusher scheme fit. He's a disciplined player. Sub 5 40-yard dash, 35 reps. It looks good. So I'm kind of like, if I'm mapping this out, I think if we can leave this draft with Summers and Emerson at center, we're going to be pretty damn happy. Mock draft 5, I highly doubt Summers is going to fall to us. It's, oh my fuck! He's like the 50 tackle, and he's going top 10. Well, what do you think it's going to cost for us to go from 25? Oh, my God. Okay. Well, I mean, we'll at least call Arizona and see, but I now have severe doubts that we're going to be able to get him. Dude, he was so good that he didn't even follow the mock draft. He goes at 7. I was going to... Fuck! All right, well, I'm going to go with... there is a strong safety, Sean Leonard, who looks pretty good first in pretty much everything. He's the best athlete at safety. 14th in true value at 25. No dev trait, but gives us cover in case things take a turn for the worst in terms of Hooker's regression. God damn, that's brutal. And then we're going to reach here in the 2nd round for Amari Anderson. Looks like an excellent center. Is 100% going to be an upgrade. 56 in true value at pick 57. Let's go. Tell you what, though, I just spent the better part of 15 minutes. Pause the clock. I was like, let me go analyze some of these nose tackles that are down here. Brian Graham, South Carolina. Watch this. He looks pretty good. 6'3", 350. Your first one up, and we'll be right back in just 1 second here. Let's go. What do we have here in Sean Sanborn from Notre Dame? Maybe a little bit more of a project player, but if we can't get the big fish at D tackle, maybe we can get a couple small fish that could make something special over the next 2 seasons. Take a look at our draft recap. Leonard, 76 rated. No dev trait, but I mean, that's kind of the threshold. I feel like if you get anyone over 75, you can kind of live with the lack of dev trait. Emerson, 73 with the dev trait. He's going to be a day 1 starter for us at center. Graham, 72 with the dev trait. Sanborn, 67 with a very good dev trait. We're able to get Tim Burris here, a 70 rated wide receiver from South Carolina, but I need to go look at the Ravens, who stole our player, T.J. Summers, 76. Perfect scheme fit, defensive tackle. Should have been ours, man. He should have been the understudy for Jeff Simmons. And now he's going to Baltimore. Year 4 for the Titans. Want to build off of last year's success of getting a playoff win and winning the division. And I mean, it's year 4. Year 4 is a great time to go and win a Super Bowl, so there's no pressure of a Super Bowl or bust year 5 situation like we had in our first offseason rebuild of the Vegas Raiders. I'd like to be playing with house money. We have a new and improved run game now with Singleton being a superstar. I think that's going to help raise this game to another level. We have a stud new starting center, which could be the missing piece to get this offensive line playing elite. And that defense, with all the superstars and X factors, it's time for them to be a top 5 defense. Let's see it. I always love highlighting standout performances. Going up against Buffalo, a perennial playoff contender. We smashed them 44-14, where we get Offensive Player of the Week, 5 touchdowns, Cam Ward. Defensive Player of the Week, 5 sacks by Keldric Faulk, which is now a new Titans/Oilers record. Well, things are looking pretty good midway point of year number 4. Undefeated, 7-0. All the ratings also look outstanding. The number 2 offense, number 3 defense. Still plenty of time for us to butcher that in the backstretch of the season. I'm cautiously optimistic, though. Look at our contracts here. We declined the 5th-year option on both Tate and Faulk. Know that we are going to have to pay up. $162 million for Keldric Faulk. Easy. Carnell Tate, pretty much also blank check territory. 152. I don't think we're too far apart. Nicholas Singleton finally playing his best football of his career, so we'll get him on a 2-year deal, lock him up for the rest of the rebuild. Anthony Hill. I mean, that entire class for the Titans has been exceptional. And look at that for Cam Ward, man. That is a very reasonable price point. Under $100 million, I will take that. Now, the question remains to be seen, are we good enough to win with him as our quarterback? Well, that, remains to be seen. And that's probably just way too much money for Wandale as a wide receiver 3. Appreciate what he's done. I think in real life, that's a sneaky good get, even though maybe some eyebrows are raised at the number they gave him free agency to steal him away from the Giants. But I mean, for where we're at in this rebuild, we can only pay one of the two, and clearly Carnell Tate's the guy. And I don't think we're too far away. We should get him locked up next week. No! We are undefeated for a sub 85 overall team. We had undefeated season at our sights. We lose by 2 to the 49ers. Cam Ward. Oh, he sold us out. Fuck. It's always better you lose 2 in a row because it's not like you missed it by 1. So I appreciate the Jags. Context realism. We probably rested our starters after losing the undefeated season. They're not better than us, but hell of a year for Tennessee. Year 4. We go 15-2 with the number 2 offense and a top 5 defense in the league. Shout out to the schemes because, sometimes we get those numbers and our team's like 90+ rated. We are far from that right now, and the team's playing out of their minds. Well, ignoring Jamar Chase's video game numbers there, Jeremiah Smith had a hell of a year. 2nd leading receiver in the league. Cam Ward gives us 6 yards, 4th. Ooh, that could be superstar. Top 5 average in both. I would honestly say I'm expecting a superstar dev increase for Cam Ward going to the final year of the rebuild. Hopefully as a Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl champion. Hell of a year from Cam Ward. 39 total touchdowns. Well over 4,000 total yards. Nicholas Singleton was solid. Yeah, again, I would honestly much rather Cam Ward get the touchdowns and have less rushing touchdowns for Singleton. 1,400 yards, 6 touchdowns, 0 fumbles. Perfectly fine by that. Singleton got his dev trade last year to get him up to superstar. It is now time. I think we can show a little love to the passing game. We get our 2,000-yard receivers. What a combination. Obviously, Jeremiah Smith, if Jamar Chase wasn't a cheat code, he would probably be the leading receiver in the league. Carnell Tate, 1,000 yards. Brahmer, 500 yards, 8 touchdowns. Not bad at all. Defensively, holy shit! Keldric Faulk, ladies and gentlemen, 103 tackles. 18 TFLs, 26.5 sacks. That might be the most sacks we've had in any of our realistic rebuilds so far. And it goes to the ultimate project pick from the 2026 class. And there's not been anyone else that's gone off like this. Sometimes Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, someone can put up insane numbers. That title belongs. And hopefully we can close out this rebuild. Well, so if you are doing a Titans rebuild and you want to have a chance, we are using the San Francisco defense, and I do have a different way of lining up. I have Keldric Faulk, even though he's a left edge, at right edge in this playbook, but I also have him lined up as rush D-tackle 2 behind Jeff. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but that's because he's been like that the whole rebuild. So I didn't change anything from any of the season's productions, but just in case you're doing a Titans rebuild and you want to know the secret sauce, potentially, that's how I have him set up in our playbook. Robert Saleh wins Coach of the Year. Obviously, Keldric Faulk was going to get Defensive Player of the Year, as well as D-Lineman of the Year, setting the sack record at 26.5. So that's kind of changed my expectations here a little bit. I mean, we are the 1 seed. I'm not expecting to be one and done. We got the Patriots here, who have a top 5 offense, top 5 defense. But yeah, I'm thinking, AFC Championship game appearance at minimum here for Tennessee. Mighty, mighty Titans. Let's go. We're at home. We have the best skill position player that's not a cheat code. We have the best defensive pass rusher the league has ever seen. What more do we need on top of a home field advantage? We have a great scheme. Our quarterback, Cam Ward, has not played any better throughout this rebuild. He's likely going to be a superstar dev player. Come on, boys. Get the late touchdown, a minute 36. Can this elite defense hold on? They miss the extra ball. They go for two. You know, I'm gonna give credit where credit's due. The ball's on the CPU. And the hindsight, if we lost this game because they went for two there, I'd have to go to Walmart after this and buy a new controller because this be going through that fucking wall right behind me. But there we go, boys. We get our second playoff win of the rebuild. Cam Ward did not play particularly well at all. Like, that is, he was efficient, I guess, but had a pick. No touchdowns responsible for. We did have 2 rushing touchdowns. Shout out Jeremiah Smith. The defense, though, showed up. Oladejo, sack and a half. 2 TFLs and a sack from Keldric Faulk. And the boys are in the championship game. And who else would it be? The 13-4 Bengals, who have a cheat code. Joe Burrow, 5,500 yards. Jamar Chase, 2,200 yards. How many touchdowns did he have? Does it show here? Oh, my God. I mean, 19's not that crazy. I've seen that before. But, well, I'm looking at this tail of the tape. It's one-dimensional. They're very good at throwing the football. But our pass defense is almost top 10. And I look at their rush offense. If we can get them to have to run the football, that's terrible. 48 yards a game. Their defense as a whole is nothing special. Their pass defense is horrific. It's a good matchup, but it's Jamar Chase. He is on another level this season. It should be a good game. So with, the Bengals kind of being a cheat code, I'm going to say I might give myself one drive if this game starts to get a little out of hand. Like if Jamar Chase is going off for 700 yards and 5 touchdowns because it's a literal cheat code, I may have to hop in and be my equivalent of Game Shark. For those OGs, remember putting the old Game Shark on the back of your, oh my God, I'm old, your Game Boy. Well, let's do that. I think that's still at my parents'. Ultimate Rare Candies. All right, here's what we can do. Here's what I can do guilt-free. Get a touchdown, and if we can make the 2-point conversion, that's kind of breaking even there. Assuming that I can even get into touchdown range, but I'd like to think I know this Bengals defense is ass. We're going to hit them with a slant here to get the drive going, take it to the 2-minute warning. But one thing that is for sure that bothers me the most, because I really don't know, and if this is going to continue in Madden 27, which there is a chance that it does, I don't know. I know why, probably. It's probably due to the coding and how it works. But I just don't know why when we play I think playing the moments like this is like the best way to kind of showcase off gameplay, right? Because if I was, if I was playing the whole, I might have scored too early. But okay, first of all, point B. Let's go, Jeremiah Smith. We have to get the 2-point conversion from the sim. I'll backpack him there, and of course, we get it. And we're going to overtime. And we have a chance to go win in overtime. And we punt it, and they punt it, and then we win with a field goal. Holy shit, the Titans are in the Super Bowl. My point, to finish my point, let's go, suck it, Joe Burrow, is that in this sim, play the moment sim, like, Cam Ward had like barely over 100 yards in the 4th quarter. And that is not uncommon. Like, it's like an entirely different sim experience when you play it and showcase it this way, to the point where it's like, it sucks, if I'm going to be honest with you. Like, how many times have we done these sims where our quarterback has 100 yards, no touchdowns, and a pick, even though he might have 45 in the regular season? Or a run game. We have a dominating run game. They have less than 50 yards or 50 yards at best. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is very weird. And I think another year of just like, well, look at all the production. Look how successful we were in the regular season. And then when we go to playoffs, because we kind of play the moments, because I do think, been doing this for a long time from a content creator standpoint, it's very digestible. And it gives me the opportunity to have my own personal influence, hop on and get a couple gameplay here or there like I did. But it still is mostly reliant on the team that I've built, supposedly, to go on and do the job and go on a playoff run. But with the numbers, especially offensively, defense is not too bad. Like, defensively, the numbers are usually pretty good. But offensively, dude, it's literally like, I mean, we've seen it. Like, sometimes when we hop in and we just go play to play-by-play, you'll be like, all right, we have 1 minute to go tie this game. We ran the ball 3 times with no timeouts, and the game's over. So, We will see. Hopefully that is an area of improvement in Madden 27. But let's focus back in here. Titans in year 4, headed to the Super Bowl. More importantly, we're heading to the Super Bowl. My big thing is when we need to, we will cash in some coach abilities. I haven't even met. I'm going to meta those right now, though, going into the Super Bowl. I think an opportunity to cash in the Super Bowl here, year 4. We can't take this for granted. We got the 12-5 Falcons. We're very good. Top 10 offense, top 10 defense, the number 1 rush offense in the league. We have the number 1 rush defense in the league, so it does match up pretty well. But I'm going to give us every chance of winning this game by giving us a meta weekly ability lock-in. So we're going to go heavier on the offensive side. We're going to boost to our quarterback, boost to our wide receivers, boost to our run game and pass game, and then defensively, Island Kings and Trench Goblins, arguably the 2 best abilities. And let's see if that just gives us the best chance here. Cash in a Super Bowl win and set things up to maybe win back-to-back to close this rebuild out. Now, I will admit, I'm a little interested in what the Falcons look like here, because they're definitely another team I would put in the bubble of, like, they need a rebuild too. So they're here. Drew Mestamaker, X-Factor quarterback. He's going to be one of the hot names potentially next season in the 2027 class. Was maybe the best film, from what I've seen of the quarterbacks last year for any quarterback not named Fernando Mendoza. But it was also at North Texas. That's like a gimmicky air raid, et cetera, et cetera. But looked like a potentially special player. But looking at that production, that does not strike fear. The run game was pretty terrifying. Drake London, Washington, Mooney, Pitts. They got Branch. They got Zach Bond. Pass rush ain't bad. They got Colin Simmons, who I assume is also, he's not an X Factor, but he's a superstar. I'm gonna be honest though, I'm not seeing, you got the Terrell brothers. Cool. But I'm not seeing too much here that scares me. They get a great scheme, I'll give them that. I'll tell you what, as we got 2 upgrade points here ahead of the Super Bowl for Mr. Keldric Faulk, making him back into a scheme fit again, we have the greatest defensive player season of all time. We're going to put the C on his chest, reward him with that. We did a team ceremony to show our respect. He's gonna game wreck this. He's good at everything too. Look at that, 91 run stuffer. Good luck, Bijan. 91 speed rusher. Good luck, Mestamaker. This guy's an absolute game wrecker. All right, it's been, 20-something years since the Titans have been in the Super Bowl. Hopefully no miracle goes against us this time. Honestly, I'd be happy just win, lose, or draw if Cam Ward throws for more than 120 yards. I'm gonna be honest. But it's looking pretty decent here. Look at that, 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. We give Atlanta a field goal there, a little bit of hope to end the first half, but this is all Tennessee. And my issues, my grievance that I just had with this style of Sims, sometimes you get this. Sometimes your team plays out of their minds and wins the Super Bowl. It's just few and far between. But what better time to play up to our potential than right now? That was not even close. Give us the ring. Cam Ward is a Super Bowl champion. Keldric Faulk is a Super Bowl champion. Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith alongside Nicholas Singleton. All these homegrown players. We haven't signed diddly squat in free agency. This has been all homegrown development, building through the draft, building through the trenches, doing things the right way with Robert Saleh. Sick. Absolutely love cashing in a Super Bowl year 4. Hate getting in a trend of constantly having to rely on year 5 Super Bowl bust. And look at that performance from Cam Ward. 5 touchdowns, 320 yards. Even the run game, 94 for Singleton on 24 attempts. 105 yards, a hat trick for Jeremiah Smith. Tate went over 100. Defensively, look at the pressures. Everybody having a meeting at the quarterback. Obviously, Super Bowl MVP is going to Cam Ward. That chef's kiss. Let's run it back for one more year. Look at our team in closing. Cam Ward did get his superstar dev trait. Everything else remains no Bronner. Goes from normal up to a star. That's a win. Okay. And I did say we didn't get anyone in free agency. We did get Patrick Paul, but everyone else has been acquired and developed the right way, offensively, defensively. As far as dev traits are concerned, Sanborn, that nose tackle we drafted with a superstar dev. You got a ways to go, though. We lose the superstar on Taylor. That's likely an age thing, but it's fine. We have, Ellis Robinson can step up as our new corner one. We lose the superstar on Hooker. Prepared for that. That's why we drafted Leonard early. But, I mean, he still might be our starter next year. And then just Sam Cheese. Johnson is a superstar X Factor despite not really doing anything in this rebuild. But, sure, not going to complain. Let's say just in case, Amani Hooker could retire. He's at 22 picks, 800 tackles. I think Jeff Simmons could retire, 127 TFLs, 92.5 sacks, but hopefully they're back for one more year. Let's fucking go. They know we can win another one. All right, maybe we'll spend a little bit of money here in free agency. We go into our final free agency. Offensively, I don't really see there's many areas we can get better. Like, we lose Wan'Dale Robinson, but like Amenor is more than good enough as a wide receiver 3. O-line is in a outstanding spot. Obviously, those ratings right now, too. Look at the pluses. It's because we have locked in with our weekly trading, but I'm not seeing anything offensively that we need to go where the vesting. Defensively, it's more the same. I mean, if we had a retirement, that could kind of change the direction, but like literally at every, I would say the only thing would be if there's like a Brian Branch level, like 90+ rated safety or something, or same for corner. There's like an insane corner that we can't pass up on. I could say maybe, or like a game changer. Then we go to free agency, and it's, do we want to bring let A.J. Brown finish his career with Tennessee? I'm going to be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of A.J. Brown right now, so he can go fuck himself. And this is an all-time dog shit free agency class, so we're going to keep our money. I'm going to put myself on the spot here. Going into the final, let's just BPA. Can I, at pick 32, find an absolute stud player? I'm going to leave the clock on. Let's see. Well, we have a top 5 quarterback here who actually looks pretty sick. I might just pick him just because top 5 quarterback that looks pretty good. You could make the argument like a legit RB2 could actually make sense behind Singleton. Like, can we evolve our run game to have like 2 running backs? And this guy actually looks pretty good. Ramon Lopez fits our scheme as well as a power back. I'm just looking at these guys that are supposed first rounders. I know Brahmer just went up dev trait, but you could always that tight end is very good. But honestly, I'm thinking right now, without going too much further, I think an RB2 does make sense. Just to see if we can unlock the run game and have a little bit more complimentary play. So I'm going to go Ramon Lopez, top 50. Get the dev trait, though, for a 230-pound power back. Looks pretty good. So take a look at the draft recap. End up getting as well a very interesting strong safety at Notre Dame and Ronnie Sweeney. Add some competition to that spot with Hooker getting up there in age a little bit. Ramon Lopez, 74 rated power back. Hopefully gives us a pretty good production as our RB2. I do like to highlight when I see things that certainly are interesting. When I look at the rest of the class, I don't know if I've ever seen an 84 rated center. That might be the highest rated center I've ever seen. Look at that. Geez, 88 awareness. Yeah, that's probably inflating that rating a little bit. But Riley Campbell, kind of a Jason Kelsey 2.0. So here we go, as your defending Super Bowl champions, and expectations are to run it back. We were 15-2. Almost an undefeated season last year. I'd be interested to see how long we can go this year until we taste defeat. Could we go undefeated? Be our first undefeated season. I think with Keldric Faulk and the rest of the defense playing the way they did last year, and Cam Ward seemingly ascending, what better time than now at 28 years old? Maybe. I'll be honest. I'll be happy just with a second Super Bowl. Won't get too greedy with an undefeated season as well. Well, I'll just tell you right now, mid-season, we might not even make the playoffs. Then interview number 5, as we try and defend our Super Bowl crown, we go 11-6. Almost a top 10 defense. Really good run defense. Really good rushing offense. Almost top 10 pass offense. Really good offense overall. And we get our 4th divisional title in 5 seasons, having a tiebreaker over the Texans, even though right away in the wildcard round, we get to find out who the best team is from the AFC South. But 4 titles in 5 years, pretty happy with that. Look at the stats. We're going to look at this season, then we will finish up looking at the career stats. Came over solid, 3,900 yards, 31 touchdowns, 10 picks. It's kind of been, you know, the quarterback that he is, Nicholas Singleton. I'm telling you, man, if you guys get your hands on this roster, this mod, give Singleton a chance. This clearly is a guy that can thrive. Height, weight, speed, 6 feet tall, 220, 92, 93 speed. You know, those are Derrick Henry type numbers, and we're getting that out of a 5th round pick. We got 2,000-yard receivers. Carnell Tate actually finishes ahead of Jeremiah Smith for once. He little bros him. He's sick and tired of being the wide receiver too, and he said, you know what, final year of this rebuild, I'm going to be wide receiver 1. Totally fine with that. I mean, Jeremiah Smith clearly is what elevated this team in this rebuild. We went through a couple years of like, yeah, you know, year 1, we got 4 wins, and we look like complete dog shit, and then we just drafted a generational player, and then from there on, 4-13 year 1. Since we've drafted Jeremiah Smith, 11-6 divisional champions, 10-7 divisional champions, 15-2 Super Bowl winners, and then this year, 11-6 divisional champions. Cannot tiptoe around the fact that this is truly an incredible player. And he's not even like Max Cheese. Not like we got him up to a 99 or anything either. 96 with a superstar X Factor. Defensively, Anthony Hill has been incredible. He's been super consistent. Cedric Gray, I mean, Keldric Faulk, as much of a difference maker for our team as Jeremiah Smith was. I mean, for a guy that, you know, he's getting a lot of the Shamar Stewart tags for Madden, at least with this mod, ladies and gentlemen, Keldric Faulk is an insanely talented player. And I showed you how I had him line up on my depth chart. So if you're doing this rebuild, you know, that's when I do these rebuilds, there is a small element if I want to showcase, if you are a Titan fan or you're interested in a rebuild, that maybe you can look at some of the things I've done and apply that to your own franchise modes. And I showed you what to do to get Keldric Faulk to potentially perform like this as the best defensive player in the fucking NFL. So that's pretty sick. INT numbers not too bad. Oh, what? We get Defensive Player of the Year and D Lineman of the Year going to Keldric Faulk. That is his 2nd in a row. As far as records, kind of funny. I mean, so we got Jeff Simmons now, the all-time career leader in sacks, but Jeremiah Smith is already the career leader in touchdown catches, and it's been 4 years. He's not even done his rookie contract. Jeremiah Smith also has the Titans single-season record for touchdown catches. Faulk as well with the sacks. I mean, he's the league record. Faulk has the single game record with 5. I actually remember highlighting that performance of the week. So on top of winning the Super Bowl and bringing the first Super Bowl to Tennessee, history has been made with our players. We're at, from a career standpoint, just under 23,000 yards passing for Cam Ward, 166 touchdowns, 64 picks. I mean, he's been solid. I mean, it's kind of like the different ways you can win Super Bowls and have successful rebuilds here. We definitely don't have like an all-star MVP candidate quarterback, but we're able to make it work with Cam Ward. And, you know, while maybe the stats, he's been underwhelming with the receiving core that we had, he got us 5 touchdowns and no picks in our only Super Bowl. For that, I will not critique. We're just under 6,000 yards, 54 touchdowns for Nicholas Singleton. 0 fumbles in his career as well as an insane stat. So I think, you know, again, I am very much considering Tennessee as our main franchise between Tennessee, the Browns, and the Dolphins. And if we go with Tennessee, I mean, there's a good shot I try to get Singleton on the field as soon as I possibly can. 5,800 yards, 49 touchdowns for Carnell Tate, 5,200 yards, 60 touchdowns for Jeremiah Smith, the Ohio State wide receivers. I mean, the greatest wide receiver duos. And I think maybe an argument to be made. Both these guys have passed. Like, if you're thinking of talent, pure talent, maybe A.J. Brown. Like, you know, if you're power ranking the all-time Titan wide receivers. Now, they had some wide receivers in, like, the 60s that put up some insane production. So, I mean, I'll leave that one up to the old heads here. Defensively, Hooker, just under 1,000 tackles, 24 INTs in his career. Happy Jeffrey Simmons returned for one more year because that allowed us to get him over 100 career sacks. 86 sacks for Keldric Faulk, so he is very much closing in on Jeffrey Simmons and likely is going to take and beat all of his records. You know, I think another element of this rebuild is like we've got great dev trait roles. Winston's developed into a superstar. Gray, Hill's developed into a superstar. I mean, just through all levels, this has been a really, really fun rebuild. Now, let's not have a wet fart of an ending. Let's go on at least like another lengthy playoff run and try and defend our Super Bowl title. It starts off at home in the wildcard round against the Houston Texans. Both of us were tied for first place in the division. They have a top 5 defense, offensively kind of the shits. So I think we have a pretty good shot here, but you never know. If their defense can make it ugly, I've seen Cam Ward have horrific playoff performances. Here we go, Titans, let's go. Nissan Stadium. Winner of this game, we're going to put him in a slightly used 04 Altima. You know what I'm saying? That's what we'll give them. Look, we have 0 point. I knew it. I fucking knew it, man. Cam Ward's going to have like 90 yards passing here. We keep playing like this. I mean, we're only down 7, though. 1 touchdown. We are right back in it, but our team is just loving kicking field goals. But we get a touchdown drive when we need it, and we get a turnover. Carnell Tate gets the pick, and Cam Ward shuts me up, assuming that was Cam Ward that got a passing touchdown there. I mean, he's now a proven winner. He has that success. He gives us the touchdown. The efficiency certainly was there. He didn't turn the football over. Let the run game handle business here. Singleton almost 100 yards. Jeremiah Smith with the receiving touchdown. Defensively, our pass rush was solid, all things considered. Got the big pick by Carnell Tate. And our playoff journey continues here in year 5. Look at that, 17 points in the 4th. What a performance. Shut them out in the second half. And in the divisional round, we get a rematch from last year's divisional round, except this time we are going on the road against the 12-5 Patriots who are looking for revenge, and they got a great scheme. Top 10 offense, the number 2 defense in the league, led by Gonzalez and Drake May. We have a better roster. Look at the ratings. Got to trust our team. We are the Titans, mighty, mighty Titans. Come on, let's go. Their coach is a home wrecker. Mike Vrabel's a home wrecker. We can't let a home wrecker get a nice thing. You know, he's already had too many happy endings. Come on. Come on. Oh, I mean, it's ugly. Shout out our defense for keeping it ugly. Ooh, you know what? Fuck the Patriots. Fuck Mike. Home wrecker Mike Vrabel. No punishments. Saw a video of the Patriot fans cheering him. That is such a fucking dysfunctional organization. How's that not PI? That's a terrible throw, though. Come on, 3rd and 9. Keep this drive. I mean, even a field goal range, even settling for a field goal, I'll take that. Carnell Tate, come on. You took the steps as a wide receiver 1 this year. Get separation. I mean, kudos. Christian Gonzalez likely man-marking Jeremiah Smith this whole game. Oh! Okay, you want to do that, huh? That's what you're going to do? I'm going to go slants. I got all my timeouts. So we are perfectly fine. We're going to go 1 slant here to midfield. Timeout. Cam Ward, definitely not a great performance. You know, you eliminate the drive I just gave them. He probably is under 100 yards. Okay, we got Jeremiah Smith slant, potentially. Could look Carnell Tate if you want something quick to the outside. Just get out of bounds for a first down. Free 10 yards. We will take that. Again, field goal sends us to overtime. I want more than that, though. Oh, shit. Milton Williams, that is a big-time player. Plays his best in the playoffs. Oh, man, maybe Ayo Manor. Oh, he comes back to it. We still got 1 timeout. Field goal. Yeah, right. Come on, Jeremiah. Carnell Tate. Ah! Defeated! Carnell Tate! And the Titans are back in the championship game. Suck it, Mike Vrabel. Home wrecker. Hell yeah. So the championship game is set. We get the 14-3 Chargers, but just look at the discrepancy between the 2 ratings of the team, man. 5-point advantage. They do have the number 1 scoring offense. Defense looks kind of suspect, but like kind of similarly built, to be honest with you. But I think tiebreaker here, even though they are the home team, that's probably the worst home field advantage going on in the NFL, is our team needs to be and play up to our ratings. So let's go AFC Championship, 2nd in a row for the Titans, which you know, within itself, very successful. Ooh, turnover. How do we get no points off the pick? You've got to punish Justin Herbert there. That is brutal, dude. We went for it on 4th down, got nothing. And now we're selling for field goals? Are you kidding me? Where's the aggression at? And then we got a chance, though. kind of do it this way. Let's kind of do it this way right here. Look at this. Let's go. All right. Here we go. Start the drive here. Boom. First down. Jeremiah Smith. That's just a lot of Smith, a lot of Tate. No runs. Oh, let's go. Shot play. 22 yards. Jeremiah Smith. 2-minute warning. Perfectly fine. Slow her down. Makes this the final possession if we can. Oh, 3rd and 10. Don't like that. 4th and 6. Games on the line. 4th and 6. Super Bowl on the line, and we run like a fucking draw run. 2-yard. Oh my God. I mean, it's almost fitting. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here, man? Well, still a good rebuild. Even not happy with the way that it ended. I think, the development of Cam Ward, sticking it through with him, trusting the 5th-round running back to pan out as a starter, development of the offensive line, getting Ohio State, making the Tennessee Buckeyes here, if you will. Like, that was awesome, man. Fucking, let's go, Jeremiah Smith. Like, the fact that Jeremiah Smith we knew Dable's offense can work in Madden. We just didn't have the right pieces. And the fact that it was day and night immediately after having and bringing in Jeremiah Smith, chef's kiss. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we were rocking and rolling with. Had him alternate in and out of the slot. But for the most part, like, he was just straight outside wide receiver, putting up godlike numbers. And then defensively, I think the fact that, Jeff Simmons, some of the old heads made the full rebuild, and then just Keldric Faulk, the big project pick from the 2026 class, ends up being the best pass rusher in the NFL. We got very lucky with that one. And again, I showed you guys how I deployed them. So if you do your own Titans rebuild, by all means, see if you can get similar levels of success. So with that being said, fellas, as I stated at the beginning of the video, the plan was to do Utah Yetis. Franchise servers have been down, so I'm hoping that they're up. And then tomorrow, on Friday, we'll have a new episode of the Yetis. But I am planning on having another one of these rebuilds out to you guys on the weekend. So let me know what team you guys want to see next. I don't really have any plans of going like in the exact draft order. Like, we went from the Raiders at pick 1. I'm doing the Titans at pick 4. There are a lot of other teams. I will say I might show some preference in getting the teams that I'm considering for our Madden 27 franchise out of the way sooner rather than later, just so that I'm getting a nice gap in case I do decide to pick them. I don't want to do now like the Browns and the Dolphins like real late, so that's like, all right, a month later I'm doing like a main franchise with the new Madden game. So those are probably coming somewhat soon, but whatever you guys want to see, let me know in the comment section below. If it is your first time stopping by here today, fellas, we're very close to 185,000 subscribers on the channel. It's a cool little milestone. That'd be great to hit. As well, if you are an Eagle fan in particular, my second channel, More C4, we're working our way up to 5,000 subscribers. A lot of Eagle-specific content over there. Go check that out as well. Link is in the video description below. And until next time, that'll do it for me. Peace out. Love ya. Have a good one.